The neighborhood on the hill, overlooking Midwest Nowheresville, is the perfect cookie-cutter suburb, the envy of the rest of the town of Merston. If only it wasn't so close to the junkyard. If only that junkyard wasn't populated by some of the most daring trash animals this side of the school district. The residents of this middle-class utopia have been complaining lately to the neighborhood watch that they're hearing strange noises at night. One or two even said something about strange lights in the night sky. Visitors from another world? No, these visitors come from somewhere a little closer to home. Welcome to Whisk, White Sandcastle to some, just Whisk to the locals. And we are the definition of locals.
Yeah.
We find ourselves in Whisk's junkyard.
Right. Nicest houses in the neighborhoods and a junkyard.
It's gated.
Trash has to go
It's
somewhere.
gated. It's gated.
Right. A gated junkyard. Yeah.
It's a gated junkyard, big old fence around it.
Yeah.
Ideal for some little rapscallions like us. Best trash in the city. And it's all for us.
True. Yeah. I'm Rabies Eddie. I'm a mangy little raccoon with one ear, lots of scars from presumably fighting lots of cats and humans and whatever else. Electric fences, my number one enemy. Yeah. I have, in a recent escapade with Vibrissa, sacrificed my, I like to call it my throne, where I like to sleep and all of that. It used to be a large couch sofa with, all the flowers and really like shell stitching on it. It was really, really nice, but that has since basically exploded. So what I'm doing is I am hips deep in a pile of junk, looking for some cushion pins, because I presume that none of the couches that we're going to find are going to be as nice as the one that I had, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of interior decoration for myself. And if I happen to find some like pillows in this pile, anything soft, I'm really after the soft things because I like to lounge from after all of my rabiesing around. That's what I'm doing, digging away.
Very nice. We pan from the trash pile where Rabies Eddie hopes to find soft lounging things, and we pan to the aforementioned Vibrissa. What are they doing right now?
I have a large, plumber's wrench in my little paws, and I'm using it as a hammer to sort of bang some things together. The last prototype of this ship that we're putting together utilized that sort of like hovercraft large fan sort of fan boat fan, and the idea of this sort of like this directional fan was really, it worked almost, but I think we went too heavy with the cargo itself. So I'm like pulling apart like some of the chicken wire and sort of netting things, and I'm creating like these sort of like undercarriages, little sort of like nets that hang along this like tube thing, and I've got my goggles down, and I'm just about to get out my welding gear in order to make sure that everything's gonna like go together really well. So I've got this great big wrench, and I'm like bashing things to like get the angles right, and I'm piecing it together, and I'm just sort of muttering to myself as I go. I'm like, where's that little bit of steel wire I just need to like net it around. Dash, where'd you go? I need some things over here. I need that great big pile of like heavy but light things. Where did those go? Heavy but light.
Heavy but light. What's heavy but light? Is this a riddle?
Over my shoulder, I throw a Coke can and it hits Dash in the head.
That one. Okay. You see a small rat scurry away, holding its little tail, absolutely desperately. And after a series of large crashing sounds, comes back with dragging a sack absolutely overflowing with sticky old soda cans.
Perfect. You're amazing. So Vibrissa takes a bunch of those, and with their little nimble paws, they're like cutting those apart using sort of like a sewing needle method, sort of like getting a bunch of rows of holes and sort of stitching them together with these bendy wires until this frame starts taking shape. They are an inventor. They are the junkyard inventor, and always sort of have bits of things sort of hanging off them. They've got several large like mail carrier sacks that are just sort of stuffed full with things at all times. They are also a raccoon, but probably a little less safe than Rabies Eddie, which is saying something, I would say. So
depends on your definition of safe.
Yeah, really safe, don't worry. So they're just sort of like stitching together this sort of this heavy light frame, as they call it.
We pan now. Something a little, dare I say, smaller. Rad, where are you? What are you doing?
You see a small pond covered in scum and all sorts of gunk and froth, and there's a little light coming up from under it, and out comes Rad and swishing his antenna slowly, and you can see he's just glowing, glistening as froth and gunk goes everywhere. And then he opens his mouth and gargles some water that he had in his mouth and just walks out of the pond. And that's Rad. He's a little gross roach who is glowing, and he if you ask him, he doesn't know why. Who's throwing Coke cans?
Huh?
Who wants to know?
Me? Is that you, Dash?
Rad? Is that you?
Yeah?
Tap, tap. You hear this little tapping, and I wait to hear a tap in response.
I think Rad just walks over that way. He's like, I bet Vibrissa wanted something heavy light again. And he makes his way over to where you guys are.
Vibrissa, why don't you be the first to contribute to the building of our ship? How does the ship float from those options, or I don't know, something weird?
There's been a lot of throwing away of like empty canisters of like things, and this there's a couple of like we've managed to find these couch covers that are like the plasticky nylon ones that the grannies put on the couches to make sure that like stuff doesn't get into the materials. And so we've found that these hold things very well. So we've basically taken a bunch of these like old compressed canisters and just sort of like exploded them into the couch covers, so that we've essentially created a mixture of helium and hydrogen, super stable, super safe, and it's sort of tethered around this heavy light frame that we're putting in place. And so the fan, I'm hoping, I'm sure will be good at like directing the movement of this particular monstrosity around, because we can't. It should float. Is what I'm saying. Should float.
Rabies Eddie, what type of car did we make this ship out of?
Interesting. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually going to go for the carnival ride because I had no idea. I found a thing that I really liked from, the shut down carnival in Whisk. It's one of those, I don't even know what it's called, like tilt-a-whirl that's got the little cars or like teacups that spin, sort of. And it's all kind of based on momentum. So actually, because of this is what generates our speed, our acceleration, because we put a lot of really heavy things in one of the cars. So it like naturally spins itself and that generates our power. I think the closest would be Gravitron. Eject Trash or Raccoon.
Who do you want to toss it to?
Rad.
Hi, Rad. Would you like to choose the car or the appliance?
I'll choose the car, and I'll choose the beetle. I'm a
What
what?
color is it?
Baby blue. I've never seen a blue baby, but I assume that makes sense somewhere in the world.
Maybe human babies are blue.
Maybe they are. Okay, so we can eject objects and animals from our ship. We can evade enemies, which is going to be useful. So for the home appliance, what do we want? This is a hard choice. I think I'm going to go with the vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
We have a beautiful ship held together by an aluminum frame floating on a hydrogen helium couch-shaped balloon. There's a Gravitron tilt-a-whirl carnival ride powering the whole thing, spinning. There is the body of a VW Beetle, which is sort of the helm of our ship.
Yeah, for sure.
Got the steering wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Sort of shoved out the window of the VW Beetle, the long arm of one of those canister vacuums from like the 80s that your grandma probably had.
Like the little Henry one.
Henry Hoover.
It's got the face and the nose.
The kind you'd put the eyes on. Yeah. This ship has 2 strengths, and the rest are liabilities. I'm gonna toss it back to Vibrissa. Why don't you choose our first strength?
Based on the description of this particular ship, I am going to say that we are tightly fastened together. This thing is not coming apart. I have used all of my twist ties for this my twist tie collection to make sure that this thing is like a solid piece. Rad, why don't you tell us the other strength of the ship? Because you're like, you know good quality when you've been around the block.
Sure, I have. I remember all of those blocks. We are also sturdily armored, I'd say.
So our aluminum caged ship full of beautiful trash, the biggest, most beautiful trash that had ever arrived in our junkyard. It is sturdy and it is hard to break, but man, it is not fast. It's not quiet.
No.
Steering is a little bit tricky, and we don't exactly have any weapons on board.
That's because we got me. Don't need a weapon when you've got Rabies, Eddie.
Well, comrades, I think all we have left to do is decide which house
Ooh, yeah.
we will be visiting tonight. So, what are we feeling?
What house do you think has the most cats?
Honestly, the 1980s had.
It's fair.
That's kind of what I was leaning toward anyway.
So, the 1980s house. I've seen this one. It's 2 stories, 2-car garage. Beautiful. There's no way there isn't just heaps of trash in there. The dumpster fire hovers over the junkyard. I think it's time to board everyone.
I'm gonna, before we like completely disappear into the clouds, I'm gonna make sure that we have a couple extra canisters that I haven't opened yet,
Very
in case
smart.
we are like really laden with trash and things. I want to be able to have like a little extra something. So we've got a couple of spare canisters under pressure still that we can use to help balance things out if we need.
Good to
Yeah.
know. I was going to say the dumpster fire is floating as high as it will ever go. Otherwise, we can only go down. We scuttle aboard the dumpster fire. Who's driving?
You're driving, Dash.
I hold on to the entire steering wheel, hands and feet, so I'm centered on it, and I use my center of gravity
Yeah.
to sort of spin it one way or another as
Yes.
Rabies Eddie detaches us from the ground.
Yeah.
Vibrissa, where are you? Where's your spot in this ship?
I guess I'm sort of like engineering all of this at the same time to make sure that like things aren't popping off the way they're not supposed to. So I'm sort of like scurrying around the inside of that little cage, just keeping an eye on our centrifugal force engine, and making sure that the fan has the clearance it needs, and like all the little bits. So I'm on the outside of the Beetle, just sort of like checking things, checking things as we're running.
Rad, where have you perched yourself?
Rad he's gonna be out front, hollering out back to Dash about what Dash can't see. Just trying to navigate up front.
Yeah, you're in the passenger seat navigating. That's perfect. Rabies Eddie, describe for me how you detach our ship from this earthly plane and scuttle aboard.
Great. We've created a very complicated series of knots, like looping some rope around a bunch of different junk in the junk pile, and I'm like tugging on it and trying to get it loose, and eventually I just give up and gnaw through the rope and then climb up as the ship like lurches up into the air.
Vibrissa,
Yeah,
as the human player who most recently saw a raccoon,
right.
what would you like to do with your turn, the very first turn of the game?
I think I want to like try and make sure that there's like enough space to hold a bunch of trash. So all of these little like bags that I've just got around me at the moment, I'm gonna use those to create like a sort of like a big trash bag inside the belly of the dumpster fire, so so that we can like create like a little bit of a treasure hold in one of the tilt-a-whirl cars, or in one of the gravitron like sections, in case that needs to like. So I'm gonna sort of create a treasure hold for us, a trash hold.
That's really smart, because the more weight we put in that, the faster the dumpster fire will go. So that is exactly where we should put all of our treasure.
Yeah, we don't have a speed thing, but yeah.
True. I didn't think about that.
Vibrissa, dodging the arms of the gravitron, you make it to that center. You now have to climb along one of these arms out toward the heaviest, or one of the currently empty, I suppose, arms, little sitting spaces of the gravitron, to try to create a hold, a trash bag, if you will, for all of our glorious trash we are going to get.
I'm going to use cunning.
You are going to roll a d12.
Okay. That's a 7. So I invent something new out of trash.
And it has the cunning tag, which means this is a successful action.
So using the sort of bags that I have, I use my little claws and my little teeth to make long strips of this material. I sort of rip them apart on the grain, and I poke a bunch of holes in them and sort of like weave them onto the frame itself. So it's sort of like attached to the ship, as well as sort of like creating this new sort of like raccoon woven fabric. So I've basically invented basket weaving in this moment as a raccoon, and in this little sort of like cradle, I make sure that there's like little pockets of things in case something's more delicate or can't touch something else. And I've created a sort of hold of holding that has a strap that will go up over top and make sure nothing falls loose, because the whole gravitron is literally spinning around constantly.
Yeah.
I love it. As you are doing this, we pan to Rad, the big, intimidating roach.
Right.
Rad, what would you like to do with your turn?
Oh, he's bouncing in his seat. He's excited. He's glowing really bright. And he's gonna want to guide Dash towards the electrical substation. Get this rolling.
Okay. We attempt to move our ship towards the electrical substation. What approach would you like to use, Rad?
He'd be fearless.
Alright, I'll put my goggles on.
Now, Rad, would you please roll a d12?
A 2. He's gonna hiss to scare something away. Can I be a little abstract with this?
I'm gonna say yes.
Alright, Rad.
There's no rule.
Rad's hyped and he's ready to go, and he just lets out this big hiss, and all his compatriots know that, like, that's the call to go, and he's like hissing away the fears and anxieties of his companions as we tally forward.
Yeah.
Rad's rally cry with a loud, reminiscent of a big old juicy Madagascar cockroach.
Oh yeah,
hiss.
whole body vibrations, arms,
God.
It echoes as he holds his little roach arms up. It echoes through the aluminum cage of our ship. We hear it and we feel the rally cry, the war cry of that hiss, and we are so ready to go. Navigates to the electrical substation. Is that what's called? Yeah. It is. Who the hell am I playing? Dash's turn. Little Dash, hearing that rally cry and screaming, yeah! Little tail still clutched in one of their paws as they're slapped to this steering wheel. I throw my whole body weight in one direction and careen us towards the electrical substation. As we fly over it, I'm just going to take a quick look around, peek my little head out the window of the VW Bug. I just look for a conveniently located generator that would potentially be possible to hoist onto this.
Yeah, because we have the vacuum. We have the vacuum. We can do it.
Yeah.
We have the vacuum. Yes, I picked that. Oh my god, it's all coming together. Okay, and the approach I would like to use for this is deft. That feels right for what I'm attempting. So I'm rolling a d12. Oh, don't fuck me. An 11. It worked. Okay.
Wow.
How is this going to turn out?
I'm going to be the first failure. I can feel it.
No, stop saying that. No, Rabies Eddie.
So, earlier in just this day, I knew we would fly over the electrical substation in our attempt to reach one of these houses, and I knew I wanted a generator. So I found in the trash heap that is our home an old, thick glass Coke bottle, like from the 50s. And that glass magnifies shit so well. So I hold up this Coke bottle that is the size of my body, I put the fat end out the window, and I put my eye up to the little neck, and I just peer around like a periscope, looking for my target. I spot it, and with my tail, I bravely let go of my security tail. I whip it back and hit the on switch for the vacuum that I had prepared. The neck of it falling out the window and latching on to a mid-sized home-use generator that has been left in a parking lot for some reason. And that vacuum does its job. And it's in the ship now. Man, that doesn't make any sense. How do we make this work? Make this work.
I'm sorry. Raccoons flying a ship made of trash doesn't make sense.
This is the breaking point. I'm like, but how do I lift the generator? You know what? It just works.
Vacuum sucks real good.
The force of the vacuum, the strength of those old canister vacuums is so freaking strong. More than one rug has been ruined in the life of this vacuum. Just whips up into the air and pulls that generator through the back window of the VW Bug. It is now on our ship. We have generator uno.
Amazing.
Great first trash, everybody. Great first trash.
Good job.
Great first trash.
Rabies, Eddie, what are you doing when all of this happens?
Is it? Right. I'm like just climbing up over the edge of the rope that I loosened, and I can see we can head either towards the possum woods, where I know I've got some enemies, but I've also got some friends. Or we can head to the golf course, and because it's the middle of the night, nothing's there. The grass looks really nice and soft. So I'm going to try to steer the ship towards the golf course. My eyes are on this prize of this couch and cat food, so I want to get to that house as quickly as possible.
All right.
So I'm going to use strong, I think, to get there. And now I'm going to roll. Yep, I knew it. I rolled a 7, which is not strong. It's just lower. Yeah, I'm going to play a card.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah. I don't have a good one. I'm going to do... Yeah. I'm gonna do this one. A piston or rudder is seizing up.
Oh, man.
So, as we're trying to get to the golf course, I'm like yelling at Rad to yell at Dash which way to go. Yeah. We need to go to the right.
To the right?
West or east, I'm not sure. To the right.
West, east?
Yeah. And like just giving the worst instructions of all time. Yeah. To the point where he like starts frothing at the mouth. And is like holding onto the side and shaking things like so hard because he wants to go so bad that I don't know what a piston is. The piston that he's shaking falls off. Or is seizing up, starts to like clunk in his hands, and he like it's like a feedback loop. The piston starts to shake, so he starts to shake, so the piston starts to shake.
And we shake our way to the golf course. We are back to Vibrissa. What are you up to? What do you want to do with your turn?
Well, we're close.
We are.
And I think if we go over top of the mechanic's garage, then there's like there's some things that we could like maybe there's probably some tools laying around and everything that I might have. We've picked up a generator already with this vacuum. This is like a shop vac, like sucks all kind of thing. So I think with the sort of like I want to try to calm down Rabies Eddie a bit and say the pistons will shake on their own, and sort of remove him a little bit from the piston connected to the fan, connected to the steering shaft of the VW Beetle.
I'm making it faster.
So I want to try and sort of like remove the extra motion from our steering manually, and then use that direction, that most sort of momentum, to carry us over the mechanics garage. And I just want to see if there's any sort of like little gleaming things in the in outside of the garage, like maybe they haven't cleaned up properly, and we could just like get a few extra tools on board, maybe.
Okay.
That's a lot for a turn. Am I allowed to do all that?
I think we are going to have to start with just seeing if we can successfully get to the car mechanics garage.
Okay.
So, what
Great.
approach would you like to use for that?
I think I'm gonna do YOLO, because like I'm trying to calm Rabies Eddie down a bit, and be like, you only live once, man.
I also believe in that.
We can't live on we have to keep going. So I think I'm gonna use YOLO. Yeah.
Okay, let's roll.
Oh boy. All right. Oh, that's an 11. Damn, which does not have YOLO, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Bummer.
So, with that in mind, because we're just having a little freak out moment over top of the golf course, and the sort of the shaking that I've got, like Rabies Eddie is shaking the piston. I'm shaking Rabies Eddie. The whole ship has got like a little bit of like a side to side movement on it, and it's woken up some of the residents in the golf course trees, perhaps.
Ooh, the trees.
So I've put my card on the board as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we're going strategically.
Yeah.
And technically, because I'm trying to like do this drive shaft thing, then it makes sense for it to be another helm problem. So.
Yep.
Sorry,
Okay,
Dash.
so-
You've just got two raccoons squabbling around the drive shaft, connecting the wheel to the fan right now.
So we do successfully wander our way to over the car mechanics garage, but we've woken some sort of flock of birds, and they are for sure hunting us.
Well, very specifically, a murder of crows. Let me at them! I'll eat the fucking crows! Their beaks make really good toothpicks.
Leave the crows, man. Leave the crows. We're not here for murder. We're here for grand larceny. Come on. Pull yourself together.
You're right. Eyes on the prize. Come on, Eddie.
Rad, what you up to? We're so close, buddy.
Rad's gonna ask Eddie to could you chuck me down there? I'll see what I can find.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And I grab Rad in both hands.
Yeah.
And like football throw him. I don't know. Footy. No, footy is what they play in Australia. Like this. Just straight down.
Like a comet is hissing as he goes straight into that garage down there.
What you looking for down there?
Well, top priority, anything that glows in the dark, followed by anything that is kind of like shiny, followed by flammable. That's about where my priorities end.
Okay. What approach are you using?
Strong. Going strong.
Sounds right. Please make a roll.
I knew we were brothers in strength. Red. Dang.
No.
Ah!
What is it?
4, which is not strong. I wanted to make a hole in something.
Do you want to play a card, or do you want to let this play out?
Hole sounds bad considering we have a couch blimp situation. So I will play a card.
It's so strong hysteria. Oh, no.
The good news is they all are the helm problems, so when these come home to roost.
We're big brains.
Rad, describe to me how you do in fact make a hole in something, but it is successful in helping you do what you wanted, and what do you find in the garage?
So there's probably like a tarp covering a bunch of stuff, and I shoot through it, and I
Classic tarp roof.
Classic tarp roof. Outside, I don't know. Maybe he shoots through the ceiling of the mechanic's garage. I don't know. Maybe he had a bad contractor.
You'll hear a small, the tiniest little radiation bomb go off as you hit concrete.
It's just like, that's weird. There's no idea it's capable of this. And we'll skitter around looking for anything that lights up around him or shiny. Let's see what's in a garage that a roach could take with you.
You can take anything.
But you're strong. You're the biggest roach we've ever seen.
Oh, that's right. I shouldn't have doubt myself.
And
like that.
radioactive.
That's right. I take a bag of screws and a little bit of gasoline in a little stopper.
Oh, nice.
Smart. And I hoist him back up. He gives his little tugs, and I hoist him back up.
Sure.
Am I a flying cockroach? I don't know.
I mean,
Duh. I forgot that existed. Horrifying. Horrifying.
You see Rad flying up, and he's like, "Hey, did you guys know I can fly?"
Rad, what did you bring onto the ship?
I got screws and a snack for later. The screws are very shiny.
Gasoline too.
Oh, and gasoline.
That-
Yeah, right.
I don't want to talk about my snack. It's my snack.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. You're glowing a little more brightly, actually, Rad.
I feel really good.
Okay. My turn. I'm going to attempt to... We're so close, so I just gotta attempt to steer us to the 1980s house. Let's see if I could do it. I guess this is fast? Let's go with fast. I'm gonna roll. It's a 4. Hide yourself or trash. And it's fast. Okay, so.
Yes.
Great. We're gonna get there unscathed.
Thank God.
That's right.
As I throw myself on this steering wheel to sort of veer a bit to the right and get us toward that 1980s house, I see at the last moment the beam of a flashlight from, I don't know, perhaps the golf course, the caretaker looking at what disturbed the birds, and I twist the wheel in just the right way to avoid that beam of light and end up spiraling us ass over tea kettle
Oh.
right over the roof of the 1980s home.
Beetle over couch.
Yeah. Now, how do we park?
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
Mine. Right. So I'm the rope guy. So I'm going to continue maximizing this rope's potential and kind of fireman slide down it as we're like spinning. And I'm going to use the momentum holding on to the rope to like grab onto like the weather vane or like the chimney and like Spider-Man hold us into stopping and then affix the rope to like the satellite or something affixed to the roof. Like both the weather vane and the satellite dish and the chimney.
Triple anchored.
Yeah, I don't think we need to land
Yeah.
the ship. I feel like just
No.
attaching the ship
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
we want to do.
We just need to make sure it doesn't float away.
Yeah.
Give us a way to get trash up there.
Yeah. This feels strong again, so I'm gonna try for that. That's a failure.
No.
What'd you roll?
I rolled an 8, which is use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride with mean intent.
Oh, Eddie.
God.
No. I do that in a way that does not accomplish your goal.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna
Or
play a card.
play a card.
Yeah. I'm gonna play a card. I have to. I know. What else am I gonna do?
I'm so worried, Rabies, Eddie. I'm so worried.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So I'm gonna play this card.
Flip it over.
What does it say?
A family of squirrels is in the eaves and alarmed by your presence.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like kind of jet ski across or like water ski across the roof, like skidding a little bit until I like go to catch myself on the chimney. And as I do, I'm like toppling some shingles over the edge of the roof, and a like swarm of squirrels like pokes its head over the edge and starts chittering at me. I obviously glare at them menacingly and bare my teeth and hiss at them back as I'm affixing the ship.
Oh dear. But and you do succeed because you played a card. So
Yeah.
you do affix the ship to the house.
Yes.
Excellent.
Great. Cool.
Vibrissa,
All
what
right.
would you like to accomplish?
So we're attached to the house.
We're attached to the house. We need to find a way inside.
The garage is probably up the bread and butter that we want, right? So, and probably
Well, not for me.
right, because you want the soft
getting in
and
that
you want the
living
soft
room.
and squishy. I've heard of these like sensor things for the door, right? And it's basically like I want to try and hack the garage door sensors. So
Yeah.
that the doors will just open on their own. I want to try and like hack the system. I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna have like a little like. It's got like a bunch of switches and buttons, like a light switch, and then sort of like these little like beepy boopy kind of like lights on it and everything. And I'm gonna see if this sort of like hacking remote control thing can open the doors of the garage.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your approach?
I am going to use cunning because I'm a real smart little thiefy inventor.
Yeah. I mean, you're a raccoon who knew about security systems, so I'd say so.
Hey, everybody just needs a button to be able to push every once in a while, and I really want to push this button.
Yeah.
So I rolled an 8. Damn it. Okay, so that does not
Yep.
have cunning. It's only inventive. However, I am harnessing a force
It does
not
work
meant
really
for
well.
raccoons. Okay, great. So, we've got a dog there. So,
Are you going to take your consequence, or are you going to play a card?
okay, then I'm gonna put a card on the table.
Yeah, that's
And it's gonna be this one. A
Let's
group
see
of
what it is.
rivals are already there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was never supposed to know how to actually take that little green chippy thing and put it into the black box with the buttons. But if you turn it upside down, it says boobs, and it's hilarious. And I press the button, and a sound from the garage door as they open up on their own. And I am like standing there with my little gadgets and my goggles on and just cackling maniacally. Yeah! As the treasure trove of the 2-car garage opens up, and it's gleaming. There's boxes, there's bags, there's like rags underneath the cars. There's cars in there. Like this is good for me. I'm excited to be in this moment. And I feel like electricity could just fly out of my little paw fingers.
Now, Rad, we have secured the ship to the house. We have opened the doors. What do you do?
Brad takes a swig of gasoline. Sees there's no stars. What did you guys want again? I'm pretty good at here.
Sofa.
Sofa? I don't see a sofa.
I wanted glue.
Glue. Rad's gonna take a big sniff and see if he can find some glue in this garage.
Rad, you are in the garage.
I am in the garage.
What approach are you using to find glue?
Persistent.
Okay, let's have a roll.
8. I succeed.
Unbelievable.
Surviving seemingly certain death.
Get me a word picture, Rad.
I'd say Rad scurries up the workbench of this garage, and he's skittering along, making his way. And he's not really paying attention because he's got gasoline inside of him. That always gives him a good thrill. And then he goes behind the toolbox and he skitters across some horrible, nasty, inhumane bug tape that is back there. But he's just going along, and he's going so fast, and he doesn't even notice as his carapace just like slips off him, and he's kind of a light, fleshy, glowy color now, and doesn't notice at all. And he's like, oh, spots like 5 sticks of super adhesive glue. He's like, yeah, and he just grabs them all and makes his way back.
That means it's my turn. I will leave my post at the helm. I'm gonna look around and see if for some reason there might be a radio transmitter in this garage. I'm going to use the sneaky attribute. Let's see what I can do. 8. Nope. Show up unexpectedly. Unless, man, I forgot that I could play a card. I slip and slide down this, turns out a bit precarious line to the house, but I make it. Tumble inside. I begin scurrying over workspaces, countertops, through garage shelving and cabinets until I come across what I, as a rat, am relatively confident is a radio transmitter. It's pretty small. It's probably 3 times bigger than me, but I recognize it as being what I am looking for, this little black box with antennas and wires, and I start shoving it back toward our entry to try to get it back to the ship. Yeah, I don't see a door between the garage and...
I don't think there is one.
Exactly, yeah. Which sucks. I agree. But yeah, there's very explicitly a door not into the house, so... However, I think I see a little chimney right here in the sunken family room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to launch my little body right down the flue, arms up, and see if I have to bust through a grate or something.
Can you tie a rope to yourself first there, please?
No, the rope's holding the ship to the house. Cowabunga. Great. This feels like a YOLO. So it's going to be a YOLO. Does. Come on. Yeah! My first success. Okay, I rolled a 1, which is fire the ship's weapons or make a weapon from trash.
Ooh.
The ship doesn't have weapons.
Well, the ship notably doesn't have weapons, so how do you make a weapon from trash?
Right. So, on the way down, in this chimney, turns out that some bats used to roost in here. So I'm scraping my hands down the sides and collecting all of the bat guano, and I'm making some bombs. I'm not making bombs, but I have little balls of bat guano to throw. And so I've got 4 of those from all of my feet. And I strap them. I've got like a bandolier. I put them on my bandolier, and I'm in the sunken family room. I go over to the wall between the garage and the family room, and tap out our trash animal Morse code through the chimney. Path is clear. So that's the end of scene 2.
Okay.
All right. I really want to get to the vestibule, because I think that's where all of these outer clothes, like the puffy jacket and gloves and things, and the sort of the warmer things are. I don't know. I don't want to go past the windows of the second floor bedroom to do that. So, you know what? I think I might follow Rabies Eddie down into the chimney. But I feel like I need to have some kind of need to get out of here now. So, a measuring tape kind of technology here. So can lower me down, but there's
nice.
An auto retract if I need, kind of like a retractable pet leash, but not that, but measuring tape, I'm sure. So kind of using that to as an extra sort of get out of here kind of thing, down the chimney, and then I want to move to the vestibule from there.
Okay. What approach would you like to use?
I think I'm gonna have to go inventive for this one again.
That makes sense.
And that is a 5, which is inventive.
Whew.
So I build a Rube Goldberg machine. Here we go. All right. So measuring tape. I got that. I step on the little thing and I hold down. It goes boom, down the chimney. But myself being a little I like my gadgets. So I then grab a little. I look around. I'm like, okay, what they've got the little fireplace instruments nearby, and I can see that there's a light switch across the room that has a ceiling fan, and then there's a little feather duster thing underneath. They've got a carpet that goes all the way to the vestibule, and then a bunch of coat hangers. So in all of this, I have scoped this out. My little goggles are sort of glinting in the dark as I'm like doing measurements, calculating these things. Oh yes, it's all coming to plan. Standing from the bottom of the chimney flue, I stretch out my little tape measure, and I hit the light. That light then turns on the ceiling fan, which starts swinging. The feather duster moves, knocks over a glass on the eating area kitchen counter, which rolls onto the rug and then gets really sticky, starts rolling the rug up itself and all the way to the vestibule, blocks the door, so the door is now open. And then the gusting wind, obviously from the fan on high, begins to rattle the clothes in the vestibule closet, and they start to shake down. I then make a dash across, and I build this little wire contraption that I connect to the end of my measuring tape, and slowly these coat hangers start marching themselves across the hallway and up through the chimney, slowly making it up to our dumpster fire.
Incredible.
Holy
Wow.
What?
At no moment did I know where that was going.
Not even slightly.
Fantastic.
Oh, that was so cool. So, Vibrissa, where are you standing right now?
I think I'm sort of like in just on the other side of the eat-in area, as I'm sort of like making sure the clothes like march themselves. Yeah, right about there.
Cool.
I'm sort of like
Beautiful.
directing traffic.
An entire army of winter coats marching up a flue. Okay. Rad, it's your turn.
Brad takes his glue sticks and goes up to Dash and shoves them in Dash's arms and puts his hands on Dash's shoulders. Is like, they got traps for littles. Watch out.
Okay.
And then scurries off without a second thought to try and find a way under the wall to get inside the wall. Where wall meets floor, he's gonna try and find a little space he can get into the wall.
Cool. What's your approach?
My approach is strong.
Sure.
A 9, which is strong.
Hey.
You're doing it. Okay, you lift something improbably big.
Yeah.
What do you lift that's improbably big in attempting to get into the wall?
I think
Do you lift
there's
the wall?
I think there's a part of the wall that maybe like someone kicked or shoved a shelf against too hard. It's kind of dented in, and Rad just pushes through the indented part and makes his way up the wall, aiming for the second story.
Oh yeah, so he's in like the bedroom. That's perfect.
I, having heard the Morse code to come in through the chimney, momentarily caught in the terror that you had been captured and forced to give up our secret code. But so we'll approach cautiously, but we'll attempt to exit the garage, scuttle across the roof, come down the chimney, and look around. I'm looking for mail. I'm looking for papers that have come in mail.
Okay.
I think these people have secrets, and I want to know what they are.
Sure.
Specifically, I'm looking for ads. I'm looking for ads for exterminators and or notes from anything that looks super official, like it might have come from a neighborhood watch or anything like that. I'm going to use sneaky. This feels sneaky. I'm going to use sneaky. 11. Ooh, I'm successful. Reveal how you found trash earlier, so it's useful in the nick of time. This is what I rolled before. I rolled this before.
Oh yeah.
Dash is nothing if not a planner. So, man, what would help them find mail? We live in a trash heap. I have seen so much junk mail. I have seen
Yeah.
so much mail from the neighborhood watch end up in our trash heap, and I have seen so many ads from exterminators and fumigators. So I recognize them, and I have chewed off little samples of logos and little ads. I flip them out like a little deck of cards, and I send them to all the papers I can find in the room.
Yeah.
And well, I was successful, so I guess I find them. Where would it be? Probably.
I feel like this family, the 80s family, like covers their dining room table in mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. So maybe it's in the eat-in, what's this say? Something.
This little eat-in area, the kitchen counter almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'm on this kitchen counter, this little stick-out thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's where our mail went. And I'm just like scratching up all the mail, finding the ones I want, and like piling them up into my little rat arms, comparing them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my turn. We have neighborhood watch bulletins and junk mail ads. It is Rabies Eddie's turn.
Sure is. Okay, Rabies Eddie he's not smart. But they're not stupid either. They're not stupid, right? So they roll in past this mechanical contraption of coats and goes, that'll be a good escape plan later. And goes into the living room, clocks the couch, clocks the window. The only way that couch is getting out is through that window. But I know that's going to be very loud and probably alert the humans. So I'm going to go upstairs and try to get their bunny slippers first. So I'm going upstairs to, let's say, the south bedroom, and I want to peek in and grab bunny slippers from the edge of the bed.
This. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, this is stressful.
This is not a job for Rabies Eddie. So I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna use aggressive for this one. I'm not sneaky, so I'm being feral. And we're gonna see. Yeah. Oh my god, I got it.
No way.
I got an 8. Use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride with mean intent. So, actually what I do, right, is I get into this bedroom and I see the window and I see the cord of the vacuum cleaner dangling down, and I go and I open the window and I take the slippers and I'm climbing on the bed, literally over the person sleeping, and shove the bunny slippers onto the vacuum cleaner that sucks them up. So I've for sure got those with mean intent. And then I also, as I'm stepping across this blanket, noticing how fluffy it is. It's one of those like those really fluffy blankets, you know, that's really warm on one side but cooling on the other. I'm like, that's actually kind of nice. And I pull the vacuum cleaner just inside the window and tuck the edge of the blanket off or into it and hop off as the blanket is pulled off the person. I imagine they roll around a little bit, but I scurry outside and just close the door ever so gently.
Incredible. So the blanket off of someone, and I gotta imagine this is like a child's room or something. So,
well, I didn't want to say it, but the person
very
was
grinchy.
kind of small, yeah. So I don't know, but they weren't blue, so I don't know if this is a human child, because I've been told that human children are blue.
That was
I
an
get outside the door.
incredible turn.
I get outside the door and I do that in the hallway.
Fantastic.
Vibrissa,
Hell
what are
yeah.
you doing while this is going on?
So the coat delivery system working so well. Like they have so few coats and scarves and mitts and hats and everything left now. So I'm just gonna leave it because it's doing its thing. The ceiling fan in the sunken family room is doing its job beautifully. It is set up, mechanized. So now I'm going to see if there are any little like appliances in the kitchen. So like a blender, a toaster. The toaster would be good because it's got like that heat option, like the heating elements and everything. And so I kind of want those. A microwave would be amazing. Because those are waves I don't even know about yet. So like I would love to snag like a few key kitchen appliances that are just like small enough to like roll up into something and then to like hook onto this little train line that I've got going out the chimney. And it's close by, so I'm gonna do that. And I think this is a YOLO in case some of them are like still plugged in.
Cool.
So I'm gonna roll.
We have a lot of cards on the board, y'all.
Mhm.
Damn it! No. So that's a 2. So use the ship base in an unexpected way. Not a YOLO, unfortunately. Anything other than that?
You can play your card.
I'm gonna play this card. The baby monitor is on the kids' room. You already succeeded up there, Rabies Eddie. So I'm hoping. I'll actually put it over here. But I think because there's sort of like to recognize is like, oh, there's like these little zaps that I keep getting as I'm like unplugging inadvertently, like not really knowing much about electricity. I'm a raccoon. But just sort of grabbing something and then sort of like zap and just sort of getting like a little bit of a shock as I'm stuffing a blender, a toaster, and a microwave oven into a sack and then hanging it up on this little like excavation train that's going up the chimney.
Amazing.
Incredible. It's going suspiciously well. Okay, Rad, what are you doing? You're in the wall.
Rad wants to go up to this young person's room and see if they got any glow-in-the-dark stars. Now that Eddie has made it perilous.
That the child is shivering with cold
Yes.
over the baby monitor.
Yes, exactly. Dangers afoot.
You hear from outside the door.
Can do fearless. I got a 12. Okay, card. I'll put up
It's
there.
like interesting.
Yeah.
Food has been left out in the kitchen and dining room.
Oh,
Seems good, right?
Yeah.
Feels good. If it happens.
Okay, so you do in fact succeed.
Yeah.
Describe for me the glorious sight and what you do. You enter this bedroom.
Rad skitters up a dresser and then skitters on the wall and creepily across the ceiling and these are some old stars, so some are a bit faded, and he finds the glowiest of them and unsticks them off the wall and sticks them on his body until he's got as many stars as he can have. And then he flutters down onto the edge of the bed and he's like, not blue, and then makes his way towards the door where he heard Eddie.
Okay.
The aim is to go downstairs.
Okay.
Covenant stars.
That's so cute. Wow, we just keep skirting disaster. Okay, I think that makes it my turn.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want? I just feel like there's a bigger conspiracy here, and I want to find it. Where does one go to look for conspiracy?
computers. No.
The master bedroom.
I guess I will go upstairs. I want to look into the face of my enemy. I
Nice.
want to sneak into the master bedroom. I would like to sneak right under the door because I can fit through anything the size of a dime. And bedroom doors usually have a gap at the bottom.
Dang.
So I would like to sneak into the master bedroom,
Mhm.
crawl up onto the bed, and look deep into the face of my enemy. That's really
Get
the
a
goal
trophy.
here.
Get a trophy.
I guess this is... I think I'll argue for sneaky. Oh, man, this could go bad. 10. Oh, yeah, I'm okay. From the shadows, orchestrate events for yourself or another animal.
Ooh.
Well, I guess I just did that.
Yeah.
I silently scurry upstairs, up the upsettingly carpeted stairway, into what seems likely to be the largest of the bedrooms. Slide under the door, sit silently in the shadows for a while, just looking, before creeping up onto the bed, making nary a dent in their expensive bedspread. And just look at them. I look deep into their sleeping faces, and then I reach out. I take as big a mouthful of hair as I can from each of them, and just gently snip it off.
Oh,
Gathering up all the hair, thinking of
Dad.
the weave of hair I can create to hang on my wall as a trophy, and scurrying back out.
Incredible. Incredible.
So good.
So upsetting.
With human hair now.
Yes.
Love it. Big fan.
Whose turn is
Okay.
it? Maybe Betty.
My turn.
Getting crowded up here.
I see Rad covered in his glow stars. I see Dash come out with human hair in their mouth. I know Vibrissa's getting all their coats and whatever. I think it's time for the couch.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go back downstairs. I guess no, I'm not gonna try to open it. I'm gonna try to heave the couch through the window.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I love that there's a world where this works.
Sure, it's not like I just pick up the couch. Humans can't do that either. But I'm gonna prop the edge up on the window and then bury my little haunches in the ground and get it up and through. Great. And that. What do we think? Strong, aggressive, or YOLO?
I think this is a YOLO, Eddie.
It kind of feels like any of those could be right, but
fair.
YOLO is kind of calling for
All right,
you.
we're going through YOLO. 10. YOLO!
Nice.
I can't believe this isn't the moment when the snowball comes crashing through the
right.
wall.
It should be. Eat trash you really shouldn't with interesting effects. Great. So I think I've taken a swig of Rad's gasoline and I indiscriminately eat everything on the coffee table. So remote control, coasters, a mug, all the battery acid and all of the 3-day-old coffee. There's a little bit of cheesecake left over from some sort of party. Yeah. The acid and the milk and the coffee creates such a strong propulsion that I'm able to jettison this couch out the window.
A little bit of gasoline.
There's a massive crash. There's no way to disguise that. There's no way. But perhaps the humans without their hair now also can't hear. I don't know. But the couch is out the window now.
No.
We don't have it yet.
Incredible.
We don't have it yet.
Don't have it yet.
But great, so I'm down in the living room. And I am absolutely cackling maniacally at the base of this window. Cat food and we're free. Cat food and we're free, friends. What happens next, Vibrissa?
Oh, I can't. So I've already played a card, so I can't play a card, right? If I fail.
No, if you fail, you just fail.
Okay. Okay. That's so stressful. All right.
Hey, we have a
So,
couch. What else do we need?
Yeah.
snacks might be on the list. And still conveniently located in the kitchen. This is like where I need to be. So I think I'm gonna like pull apart some of the cupboards, and see if I can grab some of these snacks. So anything that looks like snacks in the cupboard. So like cat food, fly strips, things that are things that are clearly
Delicious.
labeled. So I think I'm gonna roll for snacks. And I feel like this is cunning because I know to look in the cupboards and I'm like reading the labels clearly. Yeah, so I'm reading the labels as I'm pulling them out.
Yeah. We don't need flour, rice. What are you going to do with that?
Okay. No!
What is it? What is it?
It's a 12. I make things worse.
Oh,
no! Yes!
So I'm balancing up on the counter, and I'm like pulling at these cans, and I'm like, ooh, peas. And I'm like, we don't need those. And I toss it over my shoulder. And it hits the other cupboard, opens the door, and then the entire like glasses collection just comes crashing down in the kitchen.
Makes sense.
If Rad's human, please mark the following on the house problem track.
Yes.
Or just make a note somewhere. We need to mark 1, 2, and 3. House, noisy, pet, and human.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I need Vibrissa to describe for me how each of those cards, all of the red cards on the board, how each of those now occurs.
All right. So, the glasses cupboard has marked the arrival of the noises. So with that crash, the baby begins to cry in the upstairs bedroom. Frozen, they're so cold now, and without their little bunny slippers and blankets, so they're like setting up a wail. The food that has been left out on the counter, unbeknownst, because that was not what I was originally looking at, has actually already attracted an entire gang of fruit flies. And these guys are mean. These guys are here. They've got like little like spitball cannons and everything. And they have been alerted to the fact that we are now like ruining their heist of all this free food. So they're going to be real angry at us. And they do like a little whistle to their friend, the mosquitoes outside, who've been like casing the joint.
The worst creature of all.
Then we have, so the line connecting the ship, as it's like, as the jackets, as all of these things are sort of been laden in, is beginning to sag a little because that's how buoyancy and everything works. So the line has started to like sag a little and is scraping along the top of the roof, making like some really freaky noises. And the squirrels living in the eaves have started chittering at these. They're doing like their little alarm sounds, like freaking out a bit. So we've got a baby crying. We've got the squirrels making noises. The line is slack on the ship now, so it's not like it's waving around in the wind. And we have a really angry mob of fruit flies in the kitchen with me, but worse yet, they have their mosquito like sentinels outside ready to swarm, and there's all sorts of windows open in the house now. So
Oh no.
that's where
Incredible.
we're at.
Okay. All of that is happening.
Amazing.
Everything is so much worse. I'm so sorry.
That's totally fine. We're still not
And
done.
yet somehow we still have it. We have not yet
Yeah.
marked the last thing
Well,
on
we don't even
our-
we don't leave
house
until we mark the last one.
We don't have. Yeah, we don't have to. I mean, we can at any time. I'm just throwing
I
that
guess.
out there. But we don't have to leave until we mark
The
that
baby,
last.
the baby's crying. Baby's crying now.
We can hear upstairs, sort of stumbling, fumbling, yawning, confused adult human sounds as they react to the baby crying.
Yeah, because that's what you do when you hear two massive crashes of glass. Oh, what's going on?
Vibrissa's made a lot of noise.
Thank you. Thank you. So much.
Red, you hear all of this. Suddenly there's a rival gang in the house. A baby's crying. There are squirrels somewhere. There's like thumping, stumbling sounds in the master bedroom. What you
Oh,
doing?
and it said that the dog woke up. So I think the dog's like sleeping in the master bedroom, or I don't know. I don't know where the dog is, but they're barking too. Maybe the dog's in the other bedroom that we've never been in yet. So
Yeah, that's
That
the
would be
dog's bedroom.
convenient.
Assume there's a cat somewhere.
the cat is totally nonplussed. The cat doesn't care. The cat doesn't care that we've shown up. And the cat's like looking at us this whole time and like, yep, that scams. Yep. Yeah.
Humans are awake. Rad covered in stickers is sticky stars, not exactly stickers, kind of stickers, technically stickers probably. Skitter up onto the rail of the stairs and slide his way down. Sees, looks over to the kitchen and sees the fruit flies that are there, and takes the sticker off his back and kind of uses it as a shield as he tries to get a scent on some cat food down here. It's like, Eddie, have we found cat food yet?
No, Red! Get some cat food! And we gotta bust out of here! They're coming!
Yeah, there's a lot of noise upstairs, but you know, I think Eddie's.
I can hear it!
And Brad's gonna, I think, go to the vestibule because everyone's been to the kitchen and hasn't found cat food yet. So it's gonna go in the vestibule and look in the space where the coats used to be under there, and maybe see a huge bag of cat food that is far too small for it. So it's just gonna yell, "Ah, Dad!" Well, I guess I got to roll for it, don't I?
Let's see if you found it, or if you found something else.
But you already used a card too, right?
Yes, so I cannot fail.
Oh God.
Right? Okay. I am going to be fearless. Yeah. My stars. Oh, nope. 9. I fail.
Oh no.
To lift something and probably bigs. So I would say I find this big bag and I am feeling real strong, real glowy, the brightest I have ever been with these stars. I heroically I was going to use my star as a shield. I feel really great about myself, and I try and lift this bag, and nothing happens until it topples over and busts all over the floor, making more noise and a mess, and it's all scattered.
Incredible! Animals in the house hear the noise of their food and are absolutely screaming to get to it. Please mark the final problem on the house problem track.
Yeah.
It's time to go. We each get to make one more turn to see to describe how you get out of that house, that is the only thing we have available to us now, is to get out of the house. As a man armed with, let's say, a baseball bat comes
Okay.
out of the main master bedroom. All right, so this guy just sees me. I am living my worst nightmare. They
Got his hair
me.
in your mouth.
I, like a big old mustache of human hair. I scream through the hair as I run down the stairs, hopefully. And I'm just going for the only way I know how to get out of here. So I'm going for the chimney and hoping I can scurry up it with my little claws, assuming it's like rough mortar or bricks in there.
The machine's still going.
Yeah, hop into a coat pocket.
Oh! I'm gonna do that! I hop into a coat pocket. Oh, I'm choosing fast. I think we're done with sneaky, so I'm choosing fast. Oh, 5. No.
Oh no.
Use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride deftly. I'm gonna play. The house cat steps in and wants to make a deal.
Oh, ooh. That's amazing. What? Massive orange tabby.
That's what was in my head too.
One paw has like black fur up to its elbow. It's hard calico, but it's mostly orange. And the tail is big and bristle brush and standing straight up with just an ever so slightly curved tip, and kind of lazily saunters in and sits down and starts filing his nails.
Perfect. As this beautiful creature slinks, lumbers almost into the room, I will say he puts one paw on the Rube Goldberg measuring tape just to stop it for a moment. You hear the grinding of the gears as it attempts to keep working. He makes eye contact with, I guess, me. I'm the one in the room, and says, "Leave the cat food." So I am successful. I'm in a pocket and I'm going up, but it's only gonna. We gotta deal with this cat. We gotta make a deal with this cat.
All right. Well, I didn't hear this. This horrific cat. So what I was gonna do was hearing Rad's discovery of the cat food and the bag completely spilling out everywhere. Rabies Eddie would like to make a mad dash to Rad, who was in the vestibule, I believe. I would like to grab Rad and 2 pockets full, 2 marsupial pouches full of cat food, just like
Sure.
whatever. Stuff some in a coat going past. And then with Rad in tow, hop into a coat like Jesus style. And
I would say you arrive and probably see this cat who, due to the complication, is not going to let us go unless we leave the food.
well, Rabies Eddie wouldn't make a fucking deal. Rabies Eddie would, from this coat, throw one of the bat guano bombs at the cat, not with the necessarily even intention of hitting it, but with the intention of getting it to move away from the conveyor belt, and then would also like to grab a fistful of cat hair as he goes by. Okay, here we go. This is... I mean, it's all YOLO at this point, so I think this is going to be aggressive. He's feeling aggressive. That is... Oh! Strong aggressive! That's a 6, right? Not a 9? Yeah. Wreck something.
Do you wreck the cat?
Oh, how'd you know? No. So what I do is as I'm going by, I have this bomb that I throw not at the cat, but at the little shovel thing, like the little thing by the fireplace with the poker,
Sure. Yeah.
and the shovel thing. Right. So I throw a little pile of poop there in such a way that the cat is startled and moves, and also there's like a little scraper thing, something that just like scratches the cat and gets some fur, and I catch it, and off we go.
Perfect. We are once again moving up this chimney.
Oh my god.
Vibrissa, you're the only one.
Vibrissa, you can make it.
Okay. So I think in their like inventor's panic, they're going to try and unmake the machine as they sort of like roll it up. So jumping up onto the little measuring tape track and like wrapping it around themselves so that it sort of like is the last thing that is like coming out on this little Rube Goldberg like sequence is Vibrissa themselves, like sort of just tangled up in like the last of the like the mittens attached to string and like the metal sort of wrapped around them from the measuring tape. And as they're being like dragged through the sunken room, they're gonna try and like grab onto some dust bunnies, pocket lint kind of thing, any of the change that sort of ended up underneath the carpet as sort of like a last like mad dash, like give me whatever's in this room, as the measuring tape retracts and brings them all up out of the chimney onto the roof.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
let's hope it works, because I don't know what happens if it doesn't.
You're right.
I know. So I honestly, this is a YOLO moment, I think.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Oh god. That is no. No.
No!
I did not. No. So
No!
it's 3, which is use trash for something clever, which is cunning. And so this is not clever. Basically the Rube Goldberg machine falls apart. The sort of retract function of this tape is like it sort of like lands Vibrissa sort of on the mantle in a bit of a heap of dust and soot, and
Oh God.
and just sort of like unwinds from them as it goes up the rest of the chimney. And I am in the living room still on the chimney like flue.
So, Rad, is there anything you can do about this problem?
Do the humans like, are they coming? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'd say you hear them on the stairs. They're like clomping downstairs. They're probably seeing this. Like, there are screams. There are screams. The cat is screaming. The dog is screaming. The baby is screaming. The grown-ups are screaming.
Eddie is screaming.
Screaming. So do Eddie and Rad make it up the chimney?
The rest of us made it, so yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I employ Eddie as a mount in my scenario?
Yes, because it's cool.
Eddie, go for the vacuum, and I'll have you set up. And then I grab some of the cat food that's in your now pocket of a jacket you are seemingly wearing, and I take off a sticky star, and as we see like squirrels coming up over the eaves to come at us, I stick one of the kibbles on the star and I throw it at the squirrels to distract them as you run towards the vacuum.
Incredible.
Eddie, get down the chimney! We gotta get Vibrissa! And yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Rad.
There's gotta be also known as stupid. I keep on rolling 9. No, I fail. To lift something improbably big.
Did you try to throw Rabies Eddie down the chimney and it didn't work?
I feel like maybe Eddie got tangled up in. Well, I don't want to say for Eddie, but Eddie got tangled up and lost the jacket maybe on his way and tripped and fell. And I tried to go for the vacuum, but it's too big for me, and so I lift it up. It just kind of falls on me, and I'm a bit stuck under the end of the vacuum.
That makes it my turn. Dash is going to see your idea with the vacuum and grab just the hose of the vacuum and absolutely huck it down the chimney in hopes it reaches the bottom and just grab it. Let's see, what is this? Deft? This feels deft. Oh, please work. So I rolled a 12.
Ooh, baby.
Ah, Jackie!
I would like to say it does fly down the chimney. How do I make this? Is the worst it could be. So I think I unplug the vacuum. I think I stretch it too far and it unplugs. So potentially we could plug it back in, but right now it is out of commission. That's my turn!
Okay. All right. I think it's time for Rabies Eddie to do what Rabies Eddie does best.
YOLO.
YOLO! I dive back down the chimney, grab Vibrissa, grab the vacuum hose, and go, fire up the ship! Let's get out of here! And, like, I guess maybe climb up, but... you know,
Great.
whatever's more dramatic.
Please be
Okay.
successful.
Gonna be YOLO.
Yellow, sure.
It's a fucking YOLO!
Yeah!
Reach your breaking point! Reach your breaking point! Okay.
Rainbow.
Rabies Eddie has lost his coat. There's no more cat food. It's distracting the squirrels. Dash just unplugged the vacuum cleaner and like the blanket is kind of stuck halfway in the hose. And Eddie just starts freaking out again, like vibrating like the pistons, jumps down, like bouncing off the chimney, grabs Vibrissa, he like, and like parkours back up and like straight up onto the ship, bro. He runs up that not taut rope. No problem. We're on the ship. Jump the line, let's go!
Vibrissa, we told it to you.
Okay.
Being held by another raccoon, dragged up a chimney.
We did it, Vibrissa! Ah!
So, oh my god, what do we have left on this ship? So the vacuum's done? Or is it still...
You could plug it back in and it would work again, but it depends if that's what you want to do right now.
Okay, so...
Everyone's on the ship.
We need to, like, get some elevation, I think. So, like, I have a feeling that those extra canisters are gonna come in a little handy right now. It's because we've got, like, a whole bunch of stuff on the dumpster fire right now. So, when you're like, light it up, it's time to go! We coil up the lines, we, like, gnaw through those, not a problem. Except maybe one, because we'll need that to get back down. But Vibrissa, like, just heart pounding in their chest. Like, this was the closest they've ever been to a dog, like, in their face kind of thing. That human was, like, ready to make a home run kind of thing. They're like, okay, it's time to, like, bust out the getaway cannons. So they go and they're like unscrewing the tops of these canisters in order to like get some more lift, and then they make one fire or one like point away, like towards the house, so that they'll get like an extra little boost away as they're like hitting the switches, pulling the dials, like getting everything ready. In order to make a sort of like big bang getaway. I feel like they've already died once in their mind, so this is inventive. This is just like, this is relying on every little bit of gizmo gadgetry that they've been playing with so far. And that is another 3. No. So it is a cunning, but not an inventive. So, do we have new cards,
I think we
though?
were supposed to switch scenes.
We are
Okay.
in scene 4. I didn't want to disrupt the flow because you were on a roll, but
All
we're
right.
in scene 4.
Vibrissa's freaking out. Vibrissa is sure freaking out. But we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna make this big bang happen and this getaway happen. So
we mark the noise problem at the top of the scene. Whenever you mark a problem, you also mark the problem associated to the cards.
all of our helm stuff has kicked in now. Oh no.
Okay, well, everything on the board is at least only 1 on the track.
Yeah, but it's all helm. So Vibrissa has like activated the extra flotation, the extra like buoyancy of the ship. So we rise, not relatively dramatically, above the house, and the last gasket on the final canister, which is pointed at the house, goes off, fires, and we sort of go like towards the next step. But we have disengaged from the house, and we are making our way away. However, with this sort of last sort of jolt forward, the piston that Rabies Eddie was like trying to hold onto has seized. So the drive shaft is no longer responding it's no longer responding well to the steering that Dash is trying to help.
We lost power steering.
We don't really have steering very much. The fan that is like blowing air in one direction for us to like continue going is like, we've really only got one direction on this ship anymore. We can't really turn, which is fine, except that the crows are back. So those crows that we woke up at the golf course have sort of rallied, and they've sort of, you can see them sort of appearing ominously through this fog that's kicked up over top of the water trap of the golf course itself. So we're approaching this sort of wall of fog, and these very noisy crows that seem to be the herald of our misadventure at the moment. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for rescuing me. I can't believe I didn't. It was supposed to lift us all out, but I suppose with like all of the weight of the winter wear and you know, the 4 of us, it just couldn't retract that well. I'll have to get these calculations better next time.
Don't worry, Vibrissa, you will.
Rad, what are you doing?
Rad sees the fog, doesn't think about crows, wants to get out of here, feeling pumped up, very shiny, goes to kind of a front-ish area of the ship, thinks he's going to root off the ship through the golf course, and unintentionally distract the crows as they target the shiny roach. I think this just goes back to fearless. Okay, I thought it was another 9. It's a 6, which is, I also fail. Great.
Ah.
Cool. I have to put a card down for this to work, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, sure. Alright, fine. Sure, we'll put that one down. And if you think that is hard to read, that is because it is. It's upside down.
What does it say?
The ship starts flying upside down.
Ah.
We put a bunch of new stuff on the ship, and our balance is off. So you didn't move the ship, right? But you distracted the crows.
My intention was to do both. Can I do one?
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was to kind of light the way to the golf course as I distract the crows.
Oh boy, I am clinging to the steering wheel, my round little body with my skinny little limbs, clutching, trying so hard to make this thing turn, but I'm a little rat and our power steering is out. So I'm gonna try so hard to throw my whole weight into it and get us in the straightest line possible. But narratively, it's more interesting if we go over somewhere new. So I'm gonna say I aim for the one-day shipping warehouse in the hopes that no one there has spotted us yet. Let's see if I can steer this broken-ass terrestrial? That's the word. Terrestrial ship. Let's say, what is this? Deft? I kind of want to say fast.
Great. Say fast.
Let's say fast. Okay. 3. What's 3? Nope. Climb a sheer surface. Okay. So the sheer surface is the steering wheel. I can't turn this wheel. I can't move the ship. Unless, so I'm gonna put this, oh yeah, it's okay, this matches one that's already in place. Everything on the ship starts shaking apart, which kind of feels like it was happening anyway.
Yeah.
I am successful in gripping this steering wheel, and I have to use every bit of strength I have to just turn it enough to get us to head towards the one-day shipping warehouse. But the ship, I can hear the metal squeaking and straining as the drive shaft is tearing itself apart. But we are one stop away from the junkyard.
Oh god. Oh god,
Okay.
we're so close.
Rabies, Eddie, take us home.
Yeah. All right.
No.
So, I'm taking us home for sure. These seem counterproductive, but I'll try it anyway. I turn on all of the fire extinguishers, pointed downward and backward. I take my last remaining bomb of bat guano, and I'm sorry, Rad, I can't have my snack, you can't have yours. And I take the gasoline as well and also light all of that on fire to try to give us one extra push into the junkyard. Okay, it's going YOLO. That's the only thing that's left. In. It's YOLO.
Yeah!
Man,
I almost don't want it to be because I have a really good card. Eat trash you really shouldn't with interesting effects.
Are you open to suggestion?
Yeah.
What if you drink the gasoline and then blow it out of your mouth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fireball.
Yeah, we do a little fire breathing. Eddie's lungs are so strong that he propels the giant ship full of junk. And also, just because I think it's super fitting, I'm going to play this card, which says, a giant magnet in the ship's hold has accidentally turned on. What is it doing? Why was it even there in the first place? So,
magnets will wipe your brain.
Fine. But it will also save all of our stuff. And in this Model 2 of our ship, Vibrissa put a backup plan in case for just such an occasion. If our ship turns upside down, because it's all made of metal and aluminum, this giant magnet activates and collects all of the trash to it so that we don't lose any of it as we skid home and land ever so gently on top of the 700-foot pile of junk in the junkyard. And we make it home.
Yes. I can't believe we're here.
Yes, we made it. How much loot do we have? All of it.
Okay.
All of it.
Vibrissa is a bit singed, a little dusty. They sort of crawl out of the heap, and they press the eject button on the hold, so it just sort of like blah, 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 and all pours out. And we have a generator, screws. We lost Rad's snack. Sorry. I think all the gasoline got used up. We have glue, a radio transmitter. We used up all the guano. We have coats, gloves, neighborhood watch bulletins, junk mail, bunny slippers, fluffy blanket, a blender, a toaster, a microwave, glow stars, human hair, and cat hair.
Oh.
How many is that? That's so many.
That's 11. I think we win. I do have some news though. We'll have to do it again. I didn't get my couch. My sofa.
True. It's true.
So
However,
We didn't get the couch.
no. I chose Vibrissa over the couch and I'd do it every time.
The balloon until we need it
we
again.
gotta do it again, Eddie. I slap Eddie on the back.
Yes,
We gotta
we'll
get you
get-
that new throne.
Yeah. We gotta go to the mansion next time.
So we each have just piles of trash to enjoy in our new lives in our old home. I'd like to first describe in this sort of ending montage how your life changes, what you do with your ill-gotten gains.
Brad, before everything settles down, crawls up into Eddie's face, takes his head in his hands, and he goes, "You ate my snack," and headbutts him. And
Oh, that's never hurt before.
it just says, "Now I'm mad at you." And turns around with all these stickers on his back, but makes his way back to his pond. And a couple days later, you'd see if you went to his scummy, gross pond that at the bottom there are these glow-in-the-dark stars that when it's dark out, you see his glow-in-the-dark little roach body swimming among the stars in his scummy little
Cute.
pond.
Okay, who's next?
Vibrissa has set straight to work. The brush with almost like near death was sort of just lit a fire under them and was just like, if not now, then when? So they have rigged up this generator with like all the wires, all the things that they've like pulled out of the old autos. They've found themselves like a little helmet that they put their goggles over, and you see them arc welding in the back of the junkyard, just like sparks flying, and they're like creating these huge metal contraptions as they're like planning the next ship that will go. But in the corner, in sort of like hidden underneath, you see a sort of like a comfy corner where they're pulling apart like things that they find, like the upholstery and the stuffing from the cars in the junkyards. And there's like a couple of like there's like a headless teddy bear, and like all of these, like they've saved some of those coats, and you can see that they're trying to piece together a new throne in the corner, because, you know, Rabies Eddie really just saved their life. So they're like, their big project is like sparks flying and like digital, but they've got a little pet project in the corner that they're really trying to make it work.
Our dear Eddie. What'd
Right.
you do?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I think, first of all, Eddie is wearing the bunny slippers as pauldrons. He's shoved his hands through the lining and they now decorate his shoulders. He has started trying to follow in Vibrissa's footsteps a little bit and has started making the frame of like a couch out of aluminum cans and asks you often for help, never assuming you're doing what you're doing. He's not very successful, but I think one day accidentally, as he's making this frame, one of the long beams of these cans that are connected kind of taps into Dash's radio frequency a little bit and like extends it, and it becomes a radio antenna. And he starts using that with Dash's permission, of course, to listen for reports of cats in trees, because he's going to go and beat up a cat to get some cat food. And also starts listening for police reports of stolen or abandoned cars to get some gasoline for Rad.
Speaking of that radio frequency, Dash gets right to work. They probably ask for Vibrissa's help and then apparently Eddie's help, and call you all to a meeting once their personal radio station is established. And they show they've found a way to, not having a mic, found a way to sort of use shred a couple of wires, and then if they tap the wires on the wires, they can get a tapping sound to go out on the frequency.
If you touch the ends of the wires to Rad or power, whatever you need.
Oh my god, Rad, get over here! Okay, it's plugged into the generator, and then I'm using Rad as a Morse code tap tap tap.
Love that.
And I am using the junk mail and the Neighborhood Watch bulletins to create a sort of calendar of planned fumigations and what's the other word I'm looking for? Exterminations planned in the neighborhood. They probably have some sort of regularly scheduled. All these houses are getting
network
on these days. I am tapping it out. I start spreading the word among all the trash animals to find your nearest radio and go to this frequency because I'm going to tell you. And I start an underground radio station for trash animals, talking about conspiracy, talking about them, and how they're after us, and they're going to get us. And it is upsettingly successful. We pan from this scene of a meeting held in an underground, rat-sized radio station. We zoom out. We see a beautiful sunset as it descends behind the scene of this junkyard. Dogs bark in the distance. Oranges and purples fade. Until the next adventure.
Yeah.
We fucking did it.
Trash, 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 trash.